Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Senior Director of SharePoint Product Marketing, Jared Spataro.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Las Vegas, and welcome to SharePoint Conference 2012. We've got a great week for you, and we're so excited to have you here. How's the SharePoint community doing today? Is that all I get? How's the SharePoint community doing today? All right. Thank you for joining us for our keynote session this morning, and a special thank you to our keynote sponsor, AvePoint. AvePoint's been a SharePoint partner since 2001, and they specialize in enterprise-class governance and infrastructure management solutions. As you see, your SharePoint, our innovation, that's AvePoint. You know, it's an amazing time in our industry and an incredible moment to be here together. For starters, just look at the SharePoint community. This community has never been more active and engaged than it is today. Some people think that SharePoint is just a product, but many of us know that actually it's much more than that. It is a way of life. And you know what? The people behind the SharePoint community, the developers, the customers, the partners, the community advocates, they demonstrate an amazing amount of passion, something that you just don't find anywhere else. So as we were getting ready for the show this year, I asked my team to put together just a little bit of a graphic to show you what I mean. Take user groups, for example. Around the world, we have more than 65 user groups that get together on a monthly basis to share best practices and network. They're active, they meet, and they get things done. Or how about our MVPs? Most Valuable Professional status is awarded by Microsoft to technology leaders who take their expertise and their experience and share it broadly with the community. These MVPs come from a variety of backgrounds, and they represent the best of the best in the industry. And of course, we can't forget our MCMs and MCAs. Microsoft Certified Masters and Microsoft Certified Architects are the top of the top and the most accredited SharePoint professionals in the industry. But you know what? It doesn't stop there. SharePoint Saturdays, which many of you may have attended, are a phenomenal example of the energy and enthusiasm of the community. These SharePoint Saturdays happen all over the world. They're typically one-day events that bring together experts from all over the world who fly in to teach and share their experiences at a local level. The largest SharePoint Saturday that I know of happened in Washington, D.C. and attracted more than 2,000 people. And because the SharePoint community loves to party, we have many community-organized SharePoint conferences that happen all across the globe. These attract talent from all over and help the community get more organized and network together. And then? Well, and then there is the SharePoint conference. There is no better example, no better way to see the passion and the energy, the enthusiasm of the SharePoint community than by looking around the room today. We have over 10,000 registered attendees who are joining us from 85 countries. We have another several thousand who are joining the Keynote via a webcast. As you mix and mingle throughout the expo hall or at sessions or our after-hours events, you'll also meet folks from over 200 sponsors and partners. This is truly an amazing community. Now, on behalf of all of the folks at Microsoft who work so hard to bring you the product that you know and love, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We're humbled by what the SharePoint community is, and we recognize that the success of SharePoint is due to your work. We also have made a really big effort this year to ensure that the SharePoint conference is more community-oriented than ever before. In addition to the regular lineup of speakers, the sessions, and our after-hours activities, we've also introduced something called the SharePoint Community Lounge. It's a place to gather together so that you can get more involved. You may have seen that we're piping SharePoint TV into all of the conference hotel rooms, so you can visit the lounge to record a message and perhaps even get discovered. Or visit the SharePoint wall, you can sign your name and become a part of history. And if you're not already registered with your local user group, I'd encourage you to go to the lounge and meet some of the folks from your neck of the woods. Now, community connections are an important part of what will make the SharePoint conference this year an incredible experience. But this is a unique time for another reason as well. And to frame the rest of today's program, I want to put this moment in context. I want to give you a sense for why we here on the SharePoint team think of this as a pivotal moment for SharePoint, as a product and as a business. A little more than 10 years ago, when we first started working on SharePoint, the world was in the midst of a massive transformation. The internet was new and exciting. Information was exploding and going digital. And search was emerging as really the first killer app on the internet. These new technologies reshape business in incredible ways, and they brought structural changes that have kept the captains of industry busy for more than a decade. Now, back in those early years, we saw an opportunity. At a time when websites were largely the domain of experts, kind of high-end web professionals who worked on development and design, we had a very radical idea. Websites for everyone. We focused on the end user. And we used collaboration as the starting point. And we made it easy for anyone and everyone to set up a website. Personal sites, team sites, sites for your department, sites for your entire company. And when economic pressures pushed companies to do more with less, we responded. First by adding deeper collaboration capabilities, and then, as you see up on the slide here, document management, portal, search, and business intelligence. But we didn't stop there. We recognized that companies were going to need to take our product to places that we could only imagine. And so in addition to providing out-of-the-box apps, we also invested very heavily in the platform capabilities of the product. We extended ASP.NET. We plugged into the tooling of Visual Studio. And over the course of a decade, we plugged away at this strategy. And with the help of this incredible community, have grown SharePoint from what was an upstart to what is now an established business that makes more than $2 billion a year. So in the middle of all this, so here we are in 2012. And once again, what's really exciting for me is that we find ourselves in the midst of another very massive transformation. The cloud has altered the economics of computing. Mobile devices have made technology an intimate part of our lives. And of course, social networking has really rewired the way that we communicate and collaborate with other people. These new technologies are again reshaping business. But this time, instead of one-time structural change like we had the first time around, we're seeing that they're creating a world of constant. Suddenly, the name of the game is agility. You never know what's around the corner, but you have to be ready to respond. And the old models, the traditional ways of setting strategy and executing, well, they're giving way to things that make you more nimble and faster on your feet. So in the middle of all this, we again see another opportunity. At a time when in our industry, the cloud, mobile, and social are largely thought of as very, very disruptive forces, we are embracing the change. We've doubled down on the cloud. And we're investing heavily in taking the cost savings that come to us through economies of scale and passing them on to our customers. But what's more, we're helping IT to focus less on keeping the lights on and more on driving real business results. We've also added native mobile apps for Windows Phone, for iPhone, and for iPad, providing everywhere access to information and people. And we've integrated social very deeply into the product, creating new experiences that are really designed to help people collaborate more easily and to help companies to be more agile. But you know what? SharePoint 2013 isn't the new way to work simply because we've made these big bets. We really try hard to do that every release. For us, SharePoint 2013 is pivotal because it's the beginning of a new era. We think of it as a bridge between where we've come from and where we're going. It's the end of our 3-year release cycles and the beginning of cloud updates every 90 days. It's the culmination of 10 years worth of work on a site-centric model and the introduction of a much more people-centric paradigm. And with the addition of Yammer, SkyDrive Pro, and the new app model, all of which you'll hear more about today, we think we're poised for another 10 years of phenomenal growth. It truly is an amazing time in our industry and an incredible moment. In our keynote this morning, we're going to take a whirlwind tour of SharePoint 2013. But perhaps what's more important, we're also going to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at what we were thinking when we designed the product. We've organized our time together into 3 core concepts. Experiences, which are enhancements designed to make SharePoint easy to access and a joy to use. Innovation, investments in the core capabilities of the product. An ecosystem, exciting updates for developers, including a new app model and the SharePoint store. I know that many of you know Jeff Teeper, the veritable father of SharePoint. Jeff has been with SharePoint since the very, very beginning. And I'll tell you what, he has been very busy over the last few years. He will cover the experiences and innovation portions of the keynote this morning, and he'll start with a tour of Office 365, our cloud offering that brings together Office, SharePoint, Lync, and Exchange into an integrated online suite. He'll also then be joined by our special guests, David Sachs and Adam Pisoni, the 2 co-founders of Yammer. We'll close out our session today with a special treat, hearing from Scott Guthrie, the Corporate Vice President of Windows Azure. Scott's responsible for delivering the development platform for Azure, as well as the .NET Framework and Visual Studio. He was a founding member of the .NET project way back when, has played a really key role in everything that Microsoft has done around development platforms since 1998. And although he won't tell you this, he really is a legend in his own right in the dev community. So without further ado, it is my pleasure then to welcome to the stage Jeff Teeper.